Hello, good evening, good night, good day. Welcome to Ham Radio 2.0, live from the Ham Shack. My name is Jason, and my call sign is Kilo Charlie 5 Hotel Whiskey Bravo. And today we're going to be looking at a brand new DMR HT out of China by a company called Zastone. Now, some of you are going to be like, Zastone, I've never heard of that. I don't really blame you. They're not one of the bigger names, but they are out there. They do make a few radios similar to the Baofeng UV5R, and they've got a couple of mobile radios. They've got a radio, a quad bander that's similar to the TYT TH-9800. There's 2 or 3 other companies out there that have one of those, and their Zastone is one of them. But so I've purchased a few of their radios over the last year and a half or so, and sold some at Ham Fests. They're for Chinese radio, for a lower-end Chinese radio, they do fine. There's nothing real special about them. But I was intrigued to learn from them because I'm on their email list, so I get updates of new stuff that comes out, and I was intrigued to learn that they have a DMR radio out. So we're going to take a look at that here in a second. It's looks like a DMR HT. It doesn't look the same as like the Connect Systems or the Anytone radio. It's got a different form factor. It's a little bit heavier, a little bit more, maybe a little bit more stout, a little bit larger, but a little bit more solid feeling than some of those smaller ones can be. So we're going to do an unboxing and an on-air test here in just a bit. So stay tuned for that. If you would go visit GrapevineAmateurRadio.com. If you like seeing these, videos, and you want to see me continue the videos and upgrade them to a higher quality and more search topics and whatnot, go to GrapevineAmateurRadio.com. Click on the Ham Radio 2.0 tab at the top. From that page, you can see all the videos I've done. You can read a short synopsis of each one and watch the video itself directly from that page. And at the very top of that page, you can make a PayPal donation, which helps me stay on the air, pay for equipment costs of... see, that's what happens when you have the radio on all the time. Helps me pay for equipment costs, mostly production costs of video cameras and lighting and whatnot. I want to get a mixer. I want to get a couple more video cameras up in here so I can have different angles and whatnot. So also would help me with travel expenses for traveling to Ham Fests and setting up and doing, want to do like a interview session at one of the bigger Ham Fests and just set up in my booth with a camera and interview hams as they're walking by. So I got a lot of ideas for where I'd like to take this, and your help is very much appreciated. I've had some really good response from those of you who have donated already. Thank you very much for that. I want to continue with these videos and upgrade them and just do a better job and do more topics. So your help would help with that. Your financial contribution would help with that greatly. So thank you if you've donated, and thank you if you plan to donate. Okay, the Zastone DP, like Delta Papa 880 DMR UHF digital radio. This one's actually the one that I have open now. This one here, I'll go ahead and open it up and see what it looks like brand new in the box. It does come with an instruction manual. It's always a nice nice feature. Not all of them come with instruction manuals, but we see everything here. You'll notice that the plug is actually for a UK model plug, but they include an adapter right here, so United States can use it. This is a programming cable. It actually does not come with the programming cable. I bought this separately when I placed the order. I ordered 2 sample radios and ordered a programming cable for each one, and they just put it in the box. But it's something you have to purchase separately from Zastone. Of course, this is the radio here. It's got a little bit bigger style than the TYT MD380. A little bit bigger than the Connect Systems radio as well. The clip is already on the back of it. So if you look up this, and this does have an FCC ID on it right here. You probably can't see it very well in the camera. Get it closer to the lens there, it's not gonna focus. But the FCC ID is right there underneath the RF power rating of 5 watts. Frequency range is 400 to 470 megahertz, and the model is the DP-880. The FCC ID is Q like Quebec 5 Echo Tango Papa 66002. Now, if you go online, go into the FCC ULS database and look up that number, you're going to see, you're not going to see a Zastone, you're going to see a Kirison radio. Well, Kirison is the parent company of Zastone. So those of you who haven't heard of Zastone, maybe you've heard of Kirison. If you go to the DMR Association's website and look at all the approved partners of the DMR Association who have signed up to create Tier 2 radios for DMR Tier 2, you'll see Kirison in there. And Kirison was one of the first ones. Kirison, of course, Motorola, and Hytera. Tate is one. There's a couple others out there. But Kirison was one of the first ones, along with Hytera, out of Japan, or out of China, rather, to come up and join the DMR Association and adhere to the standards that are set by that association to create Tier 1 and Tier 2 DMR radios and have those work on the network. So there's some manufacturer listings there. There's some technical specifications there. If you go look at that website, just DMR Association, you'll see. What I do is I usually Google DMR manufacturers, and then if you go find the DMR Association's website, bring it up, and it's got 34 or 35 manufacturers listed there, but I know of at least 3 or 4 that are not listed there that are making DMR radios. One is Anytone. Anytone's not listed there for some reason. And another one I think is, I can't remember if TYT is listed on there or not. But that is the box for the Zastone DP-880. Let's take a look at the radio real quick. Alright, we're going to take a look at the face and the keyboard of this radio. Standard DTMF keyboard. Got your 4 buttons up top, which is your menu and page through menu buttons. This one right here with an envelope on it, zoom back just a touch, this one right here with an envelope on it does not seem to, you would think that's text messaging. It doesn't seem to do what it is. Of course, the backlight keeps going off. But to get into the menu, you just press one of these up or down buttons. Then this key right here on the far left acts as the exit or the back, and then this key here acts as the forward. So it's got the same standard menu that you see in the Motorola radios, the Connect System radios. You got your zones 1, 2. I've only got 2 in here right now. Go back. Utilities. You can go into utilities and go into radio settings. There's radio info. My number. There's my number. 3148141. That's my second number. I've got 2 DMR IDs. That's my second one. Usually I'm talking on 3148062. But this radio, I did some testing on it the other day. I've actually been carrying this radio, at the time of this video, I've actually been carrying this radio around with me for 2 or 3 weeks, roughly. And I'm very impressed with the performance of it. It's got an excellent receiver. It's got a good antenna. It's got a good size and feel to it. The just the weight of it's not light. I'm sorry, it's not heavy. It is light. It doesn't look like it's bigger and thicker than the TYT and the Connect Systems radios, so it looks like it might be heavy, but it's actually not. One good thing about it, it's got a screw cover for the side here, and the programming cable has 2 prongs that go into the side, so they tighten down and connect to it like, well, okay, just one prong, I'm sorry. It just has one prong, it screws in there. So the microphone does the same thing. Now, I've contacted Zastone about a microphone for this radio, and they want to sell me a Kirasune mic, and they're kind of expensive. They want a lot of money for it, so I'm asking them if they'll make a mic specific to this radio that'll be more along the $15, $20 range like the rest of the mics that I sell for the HTs on my website. But for now, they want to sell me like a $60 Kirasune mic for it, so I guess that it's interchangeable. One of the cool things about this radio that you will not see in other radios, let me zoom back in here. This knob up here at the top does not stop at 16. It's what's called variable. A lot of the there's some activity on Worldwide English right there.
It's like a canyon here. Signals bounce all over, so might be the problem on my end versus the problem on.
So you can just keep going. The Motorola XPR 6550, which is the US version, I forget the model number on the UK version, but the UK version of the XPR series radios has this same feature. This knob is variable. It keeps going. See, I've gone back to the beginning now. The first channel in my code plug is this Dallas Metro. The last channel is my Simplex 1 channel. And if I just keep turning this knob, this is all the talk groups and repeaters I have programmed into it right now. I haven't put a lot into it, but it just keeps going. It doesn't get to 16 and you have to turn it back. It shows everything that's in that zone. So I've got like 22, I think, channels in the zone right now. So that's a nice feature that you don't see on the Connect Systems, you don't see on the TYT, you don't see on the Anytones, the BFDX, you don't see it there. All of these other radios have the knob up top stops at 16 channels, so you can have 16 channels per zone. So basically, what I usually do with my HTs is I'll create a zone and I'll name it for the repeater. So like there's a zone for Dallas because there's a repeater in Dallas. There's a zone for South Lake because there's a repeater in South Lake, and then I'll put all my South Lake talk groups into the same zone because with an HT, presumably,
okay.
There's some North America traffic.
How far away are you from the mic? I'm just curious.
Okay.
I'm probably 3-4 inches here, maybe.
There we go.
Maybe a little bit.
Presumably with an HT, you're not going to be in range of multiple repeaters at the same time, unless you've got 2 DMR repeaters that are close together. Most of the DMR repeaters I'm aware of, all the ones in this area, they're several miles apart. There's one in Dallas, one in Fort Worth, there's one in South Lake, there's one in Denton, there's one in Venus, like the planet Venus. There's a town called Venus, Texas. There's a repeater down there. There was a temporary one in Arlington. It's not there anymore. There's one in Anna, Texas, just north of McKinney, Texas. So this is, several miles, 10, 20, 30 miles between each of these repeaters. So you're not going to be talking into an HT on multiple repeaters. So it makes sense to create your zones and say, this zone is for this repeater and this zone is for that repeater. But with this one, you don't need to do that. You can put everything in one zone and just keep paging through it. So I can create a zone for Dallas-Fort Worth and put all of my frequencies, all of my talk groups for all of my repeaters into one zone. And then if I travel to Oklahoma or to Arkansas, I'll be going to Little Rock, Arkansas in about a week for the Hamfest up there. When I go to Little Rock, I'm going to create a zone for Arkansas. As far as I know, that's the only DMR repeater in the whole state of Arkansas is that one in Little Rock, at least for now. But I'll create a zone, I'll call it Arkansas, and I'll put every talk group I can for that one repeater. into that zone, and I'll switch zones and use this HT when I get out there and do some testing with it. So that is probably the coolest feature, besides the receiver. The receiver is awesome on the thing. I've carried it around, and I've noticed it's got a lot better receiver than the Connect Systems radios does. It's probably a touch better than the TYT MD380, honestly. It is, I think that the MD380 has a decent antenna on it, but I think that if you were to take like a Motorola antenna and put it on the MD380, you would notice a drastic improvement. But for all intents and purposes, this Zastone is a Kirsun radio in a more economical package. So if you don't want to pay $400 for an HT, like some of the Kirsun radios are, but you want the performance of Kirsun, this HT is an excellent choice. That was the Zastone, the new Zastone DMR HT, the DP like Delta Papa 880. It's a good little radio. I've been carrying one for 2 or 3 weeks now myself. I kind of switch back and forth between it and the MD380. I think the receiver on the Zastone is a tad better. I've been getting a little bit better results using it in hard-to-reach places. Been having some good audio reports in areas that I can't seem to quite make the repeater on the TYT, but it's when push comes to shove, I'd say it's a touch better, but it's kind of negligible. You're not going to go wrong with the Zastone. The variable channel feature is really nice. You can stick 30, 40, 50 different repeaters and talk groups into one zone and just keep turning the knob until you get to where you want to go. Kind of like a Waxon or a Anytone analog HT radio. So that's a nice added feature that we haven't seen from any of the DMR HTs that I've reviewed yet, or any of the DMR HTs that I've sold on my website yet. That's a new feature. The menus in the Zastone are going to be very similar to what you've seen in the XPR 6550 series, the Connect Systems radios, the Anytone D858. No big surprises there. No front panel programmable on this radio. The programming software looks just like the Connect Systems CS700 software, which is the same software that the Anytone uses and the same software that the TYT MD380 uses. They're not interchangeable. You can't use the TYT software on the Zastone or the Zastone software on Connect Systems, but it's the same software. So if you've seen one, you've seen them all, and you're going to be able to find your way around in there and program up your radios just fine if you're used to using that software in one of those other models. So I'm pretty impressed with this Anytone, with this Zastone. I get too many models in my head. Pretty impressed with this Zastone. As I said, I've been carrying it around. I plan to order a case, maybe a couple cases of them soon from Zastone. I've already been talking to them about that. I'm kind of pushing them to try a mobile radio. So many people have HTs nowadays, and there's a few mobile radios coming out, but not too many yet. Look for a review video upcoming on the Kydera KYD CDM 550 mobile DMR radio. I got a couple of those in just the other day, so I'm looking forward to reviewing that. Should be a good radio. But the Zastone is a nice little HT. I got them on my website. You can go find them out there. They sell for about $199, so a little bit more than the TYT, but I think the difference is worth the extra cost, extra $20 or so, and I think you're going to be happy with it. So drop me a line. If you found me on YouTube, go to my website at grapevineamateurradio.com. Click on the Ham Radio 2.0 tab at the top. You can see a list of all the videos I've done, all the subjects I've done, and everything like that. Feel free to comment and follow me on YouTube. Feel free to shoot me an email or reach out in some way. Hope to talk to you on DMR soon. If you're in the state of Texas or the state of Oklahoma, get on the Texas statewide talk group number 3148. I run a net on that talk group every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Welcome anybody to check into the net. You don't have to live in Texas. You can be driving through. You can be in another state that has that talk group added. We welcome check-ins from anyone who is listening to the net and able to check in with a legitimate amateur radio license. 73, guys. Thanks for watching.